Hello everyone, welcome to Grafton Custom Woodworking. For my next project that I would like to do with the box of scrap challenge is I have this piece of wood right here and it was broke. It was a whole piece right here and it got sent to me broke in half, and thought about doing some kind of live edge with it, but it's kind of small. I thought about putting the two pieces back together, pour some epoxy in it, but I really didn't want to do that. But what I did come up with is it's fixing to be Valentine's Day, and so I'm thinking what I can do is I will have it sitting like this and kind of clean this up and make it look more like a live edge. And then I'm going to try to do something that I've never done before, and that is I'm going to hand engrave or hand carve this out and then maybe put some epoxy in it. I've never used a router before and hand carved, so try it out. Hopefully I don't mess this piece of wood up. Let's see about it. I did go ahead and clean up the faces of this. It was really bad. I mean, if you look, this is what it kind of looked like. So it was pretty rough and I didn't want to try to freehand on that. So I did go ahead and clean it up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of paper and I'm going to put some tape, clear packing tape over it. And then I'm going to spray the back of it with some spray and put it on there the way, make sure it fits on there. And I'm doing that just to kind of hold it down. I did have to go to Lowe's and get this Miles Craft compact sub base, just because me holding it like this, I wanted to be able to hold it sturdy and actually work with it. And I didn't have one of these because this is the first time I've ever done this. So I did just go to Lowe's and get one. I really got the inspiration and the confidence to do this from Eric and Ryan over at makeawoodsign.com. The link to their channel is in the description. Go check them out, as they are super talented, very friendly, and always willing to help. Thank you, guys. So I had to stop the camera just because when I was routing this, the paper kind of started coming up and it was rocking the router. So I stopped the camera so I could kind of slowly just take my time. But really, you see, that's what it looks like. So as I started doing all this, the paper started coming up. So I just stopped it so I could kind of cut it around and start doing this. Now that I got the outside of the flower done, I'm going to raise the bit up a little bit and just do shallow passes on the inside of the flower and the leaves, and we'll see how that does. Earlier when I was making an epoxy pour, I had some molds of these hearts, and so I just made one of that, and I was thinking about maybe putting it in here, inlaying it in there. So I put it down and drew a line across it. So I'm going to take the router and try to cut that out and inlay it. But this is really looking good, so I like how that looks. I think it'll turn out really, really good. So let's continue. I did change the bit in the router just for a cleaner cut, but if you look at it, it sunk in and it's in there. So it's, well, got a little bit outside the line, but that's all right. We can fix that up. No one will know. Turning out pretty good. I did go ahead and take that yellow heart out of here because I'm going to do the rest of this in red. I just thought it looked kind of funny as doing this red and having that yellow heart. So I'm just going to do it all red. So we're going to mix up some epoxy and pour it in here. We're going to start with the hardener first. Just, it's a little bit more liquidy so that way it doesn't splash all over the place. All right, now that I got that stirred up pretty good, I'm going to take some red powder and put some red in here. I want it pretty good and red, so about 1/8 teaspoon is what I'm going to put in here. And we'll stir that up pretty good. See what it looks like. I think that'll be a good color. It's a little bit more pink, but it'll be all right. To get into these grooves, I'm actually going to take a syringe and suck some of that up, and then I will go in here so that way it doesn't just overflow and fill all over the place. Try to get most of it. If some of it gets on the outside, it's fine because we're going to sand it down. I kind of just dumped it out in the middle, and I'm just going to take my finger, kind of push it around to get all up in those cracks and corners and all that. Good thing about wearing gloves. Using my finger will also help pop some of those bubbles. With a little bit of extra epoxy, I went ahead and made a red heart, similar to what I did with the yellow one, and so I'm going to do something with that. And also I got a Rockler mold for coasters, and I added some black to it, and then I'm going to kind of just swirl around and just let it dry, make some weird looking swirls in it and just different colors, that way that some of that black pops out. No particular order. It has been a few days and the epoxy's dry on here, but funny story, when I was pouring this epoxy, my wife was out running some errands, and apparently she came home a little early than I expected, so I quickly moved this and set it off to the side and try to hide it. And when I moved it, it apparently was sitting not level, and so right here the heart has a little bit of indentation where the epoxy kind of dripped out a little bit on the heart where it wasn't set all the way. So that just goes to show why, if you're going to pour epoxy, you need to really make sure that it's sitting on a level surface. So key note, I don't think that this is really going to hurt anything. It kind of puts a little depth in there, so it's going to look good anyway. I'm going to go ahead and smooth this down, clean it up. I got all that kind of smoothed down and cleaned up now, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Nylox brush and go over the edge and scuff it up a little bit and kind of make it look like a live edge here, and just kind of go around and put some depth in it. Using the side of my table that folds down, I can clamp this and have it good secure, so that way it holds it really good. I have this dark roast stain that I'm going to put on here that will darken this up really, really good, and I think that will look good with all this. That turned out really good. I went ahead and put a small little chamfer on it around the corners here, just because it was looking a little too boxy. So, and then I just hand sanded it, smoothed it down. It is all done. So I did go ahead and put some Odizol on it for a finish and let it sit and wiped it off, but it's done and it looks good. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. Thank y'all for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and like. It really helps me and I really appreciate it. So thank y'all, and we'll see you on the next one.